Welcome to today's discussion. We're going to examine two theories called social exchange theory and equity theory. And both of these theories are widely used in communication studies and in social psychology to examine the reasons why we're drawn into relationships with particular people and the reasons why we're motivated to continue those relationships. Both of these theories suggest that we weigh the pros and cons of being in that relationship. In other words, we weigh the costs to us versus the benefits to us to decide whether we want to enter in and whether we want to stay. While these two theories have that element in common of weighing costs and benefits, they also have some particular differences that I'd like to share with you today. As I discuss these two theories, I'd like you to think about your own relationships and how these have come into play in your own life. Let's have a quick overview of what makes these theories similar and different, and then we'll take a deeper dive into each one. Starting with social exchange theory, the main premise of this theory is that I'm going to be motivated to enter into a relationship with you if I perceive that the benefits to me are going to be greater than the costs to me. So the pros outweigh the cons, the good outweighs the bad, the benefits outweigh the efforts that I'm going to have to put in. And the theory suggests that that is a human motivation. We want to get more than we put in. Equity theory, on the other hand, suggests that we want costs and benefits to even out over time. So if I'm in a relationship with you, we may have ups and downs. There may be times when I'm giving more than I'm getting, or you're giving more than you're getting, but we are aware of each other's needs and we want that to balance out for both of us over time. So to take a deeper look at social exchange theory, created by George Homans in 1958, the idea that I want the benefits for me to be larger than the costs for me. A premise of this theory is that we have a comparison level and a comparison level for alternatives. And when we're making that decision whether to pursue a relationship with somebody or to stay in that relationship, we're considering the comparison level and comparison level for alternatives. The comparison level is your minimum standard of what you think a relationship partner should be like. So let me use the example of looking for a college roommate. Let's say you're looking for a roommate and you have some basic ideas of what you would like that person to be like. So maybe you're an early riser and you'd like them to be an early riser too. Maybe you like to play video games and you'd like them to share that hobby or interest with you. Whatever your criteria might be, you have a certain set of standards that you would like a relationship partner to meet. The comparison level for alternatives is your real life options. So how does this ideal that you have compare with your real life options? So to go back to the roommate example, let's say that you decided your ideal roommate will be an early riser and like video games, and your real options for roommates are Sam and Alex. Okay, and let's say Sam is an early riser but hates video games, and Alex is a late sleeper but really enjoys playing video games. That's your comparison level for alternatives. Those are your real options for a relationship. So neither of them meets all the criteria of your comparison level, but you are going to have to make a choice between what is available to you using this idea of how can I make the benefits for me outweigh the costs? So you're either going to say being an early riser is more important to me, and so it's okay if the person doesn't play video games with me, I can find other people to do that with. Or if you're going to say, I really want to have a roommate who enjoys playing video games, and so I can tolerate the late sleeping, okay? But you're trying to get the most benefit for yourself. So you have this comparison level, which is your standard or your criteria that you would like to meet, but your comparison level for alternatives is what are your actual options? Who is in your actual pool of options that you're going to have to choose from? And how do you do this cost-benefit analysis in a way that will help you make the best choice there? Equity theory, as posited by John Stacey Adams in 1965, is the one that suggests that in our relationships, we would like the pros and cons, the goods and bads to kind of balance out over time. So we want the benefits and costs for us to be relatively equal, but we also want that for our partner. And this theory has a couple of terms associated with it: over benefited and under benefited. Now, if you're feeling over benefited, you feel like you're receiving more than you're giving. So let's imagine that you hurt your leg and you're on crutches, and your friend is helping you out with carrying things. Maybe they're walking to your classes with you to carry your backpack. Just during this time while you're on crutches, they're doing a little extra for you. You might feel like you're in an over-benefited situation there, like, wow, they're really giving more than they're getting from me in this relationship right now. They are going above and beyond, right? So I'm feeling over-benefited. Equity theory would suggest that that would make you uncomfortable and you would want to make up for it in some way to your friend. The term under-benefited means that you feel like you're giving more than you're receiving. Now, most of us are willing to be under-benefited for a period of time in a relationship. Take that story of the roommate being on crutches and reverse it. The roommate who is not on crutches, who's helping you out, might be under-benefited for a period of time there. They're giving more than they're getting by helping you out. And equity theory would suggest that they want the benefits and costs to be equal for themselves as well as for you, but they're expecting that you're going to even up the scales at a later time. So think about short-term versus long run. In the short term, we might feel over-benefited or under-benefited, but we might expect in the long term that things will even out. Now, if they don't even out, we might make a decision whether we want to continue the relationship or not. But we're assuming that they'll even out. Time, money, or emotion can substitute. We don't necessarily have to be paid in kind or paid back the same way. In other words, after you are off the crutches, you might pay back your friend by taking them out for a special dinner or buying them something that they've been wanting for a long time. So your attempt to even out the scales might not be exactly an even exchange, but there's a perception there that you're trying to make up for their period of feeling under-benefited. I'd like you to apply these theories in your own life and in your own relationships and think about how they might manifest themselves in real life. For example, social exchange theory. We want the benefits to outweigh the costs. So entering into a long distance relationship with a new romantic partner, you might think about how much time are we going to be able to spend together? How much am I going to have to travel to see this person? What will it be like not having them easily available as a +1 to go places with me? Am I going to be satisfied with a relationship conducted mostly over phone or some sort of media versus having someone right there in person with me? You might go through that kind of cost and benefit analysis when you're thinking about what it would be like to be in a relationship with that person. And then equity theory, look at your own either romantic or friendship relationships and think about how you might try to make things even out between yourself and the other person in order to make it satisfying for you to stay in the relationship, but also to make it satisfying for the other person. So equity theory suggests that we pursue those relationships and stay with those relationships where there is this concern for keeping things even. Thank you for your time today. Please join me in future for another discussion of communication theory.